Rick Adams here alongside with my partner, Jack Farris. We are back May 9th, 2022. Put it in the history books, folks. That's right. JNR's PuckHouse coming at you live. But when you hear it, it won't be live. That's all right. Coming soon. Coming to you. We got a lot to talk about. Playoffs, guest appearance, Johnny 10, Trotz fired. Let's talk about it, baby. Jack, what do you have to say?
Jack Farris here. What up, PuckHouse listeners? It's Jack here. You hear me clearing my throat a few times. It's probably because I didn't take enough Zyrtec. The pollen's getting to me a bit. But, yeah, we're excited. We got a lot of games to talk about, a lot of games coming up. My Rangers are playing tonight at 7, and they're up against it. So,
it's crazy.
I'm tense. I'm ready to watch more hockey.
Jack's
I'm ready
tense.
to talk hockey. I'm ready to go, Rick. I don't know about you.
I'm always ready to go, man. I could do this 24/7, man. I really wish I could wake up and do this and then do a little nightly wrap-up show like it's fucking hockey night in Canada over here. But,
Yep.
you know,
I would do that all day long.
I would do it all day, every day. Maybe our fans can make it happen, you know. Maybe you know, we'll give back. We'll give back. What do you want to get into first? What series does
There's
Jack
so much to
want?
get into. Like I said, I'm sure we got a lot of fans out there listening. Well, that sounds a little too confident, right? But I'm sure there's some fans listening that we're not talking about your team because they're not in the playoffs, but we'll get there. I think we're going to go right down the line. We're going to hit every series. We're going to talk about each team. We're going to talk about where they're at, what we think's going to happen, disappointments, you know, what we're expecting and not expecting, and we're going to talk about the players that we like in the series, maybe some players that are what I like to call maybe put them on the milk box because we don't know what they're doing and not doing anything. You know what I mean? We don't know where they're at. So,
Missing.
So we're gonna dive in. I think we dive in with Florida versus Caps. That one's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is good. I like to start off with that. Absolutely.
So the Caps are up 2-1. Obviously, all my listeners know that, I'm sure. Little surprising. I'm sure if you go back to the first podcast, I wrote the Caps off like they were no big deal.
Yep, me too.
Which was probably a mistake because they still have some elite level players. John Carlson, obviously Ovechkin, still scoring like a madman. You know, they have some depth. I still think Florida wins it.
Really?
I do think Florida comes back. I think they're too good not to win the series. But obviously Washington isn't a cakewalk. And you know what? Washington's been in the playoffs. You got money, clutch players like TJ Oshie.
Yep.
Tom Wilson was out last game. He was hurt. I don't really know what's going on with him.
Not sure.
I gotta
Unknown
look into
status
that.
from
We
my
probably
knowledge.
we probably should have looked that up before we started, but that's all right. You know, but like I said, Oshie, Ovechkin, Carlson, a lot of these Backstrom, a lot of these guys have been in the playoffs and they know how to play in the big games, and the pressure doesn't really get to them.
True.
And I think that's what's going in their favor right now.
Yeah.
I think Florida's got more firepower, if you will. I mean, Huberdeau, Barkov, all these guys. Barkov's, really can't call him underrated anymore. He's making so much money, and everyone knows about him. But it's
For
still
Hagee,
Florida
too.
Yeah, they got some underrated guys. I just think if I'm putting money on any of them, I think Florida comes back. So we'll see about that. But Washington's giving them a run for their money. They're not laying down. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree, Jack. It's funny. Like I kind of wrote off the Caps too, but like you said, man, experience. They've all been there. That core group has been there, and aside from winning the cup, they've been there even before that. We all know. But I want to talk about the biggest thing in this podcast today. Well, one of the biggest things, not the biggest thing, but home games, man. Home games at home matter. Those in playoff hockey, it really does change everything. I mean, we'll dive into all the other teams later on, but Dallas is a prime example. Washington right here is a prime example. It's just different atmosphere. It's they feed off that crowd. They feed off that energy.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's where Florida is running into a little debacle here. I think their top lines still need to produce more. I think there's a lot more expectations from top line. The top six there.
Bit, yeah.
Huberdeau is still playing good. But everybody else is kind of like the milk carton days, milk carton, who's missing? Missing person.
Where are they?
Yeah. So
I think they're a little inconsistent. They're not bringing it every night. And they got to find that consistency. But also in the playoffs, the bottom six matters, your defenseman matter, and your goalie actually matters. So you're gonna have to have Bob Brovsky having some big nights. There's no doubt. Yeah, it's a tough one, tough series. Like I said, I still think Florida wins it. I think they got so much depth. The only thing that scares me about Florida is they don't have the playoff experience. They don't have those guys that have been there, done that, and have been through it, and know what it's like to lose, and know what it's like to win, and what you have to give up to win, and what you go through, and
all that. All that jazz.
I don't really think Florida has those type of players yet so much. I know, look, they played in the playoffs last year. They had some experience, but not enough. I don't think. So I'm not saying I still believe in Florida. I just think they got. Giroux has a lot of playoff experience. We kind of forget about Claude Giroux. He's never won, but he's had a lot of playoff experience with Philly.
Absolutely.
So that's one guy to look to, but. At the end of the day, it'd be tough for me to see Washington beating them, but I am impressed with Washington's work ethic, and I think maybe I slept on them a little too much because they're I should have realized how many guys they've had that have been through it. Oshie, these guys have been through it. They've won. They've been through the battles, and they know how to win.
Absolutely, Jack. Listen, it is a totally different experience, a totally different season. Once it's playoffs, and that's just and so far all the games that have been played, it really does show it. So you got to wonder does Spencer Knight get a start if the Panthers lose tonight.
It's a good question, Rick. I mean, what do you do? Do you keep riding Bob Brovsky, or do you give the young kid Knight a shot where he's obviously got a lot of potential,
right?
And he's shown that he can play in this league. It's maybe a slight risk because how does he handle pressure,
right?
But I don't know. It's a tough one.
It is tough.
It's a tough one because you might throw him in there and he's lights out and he's stealing Bob Brovsky's starter seat,
right?
Or you throw him in there and the pressure gets to him and he doesn't play so well. It could go either way.
And then you're up. Then they're down 4-0 in the first period.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think that's really the job of the coach.
Of course, it's not our job.
Andrew Brunette, the coach of the Florida Panthers, will probably understand the psychology of both goalies a little bit and probably knows more, obviously, than we do.
Of course.
What Knight's capable of. And if he believes in him, he might throw him in if Bob Brovsky loses another game. I could see that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how that folds out, whole plans out. I just, Florida looks like, a little lost, and now I'm scared, and I'm not even a Florida Panther fan or anything, but they got me a little like, what's going on? A little just got me questioning some things. That's all.
Yep.
Nothing major. I think they'll pick back up because it's kind of like you don't want to be down by 2. You don't want to be down 3-1 in the series here, but
yeah, listen, if Washington wins tonight, Florida's in trouble.
Big trouble.
I think if Florida wins, I'm saying if Washington wins tonight, Florida's in trouble because I think Washington will squeak another win out somewhere along the line. I think so too. I could see Florida winning another game and it going a little further, but you go down 3-1 against Washington,
you're in trouble.
They're in trouble. I think their big boys get it done, but I don't know. I'm feeling Florida tonight. I think Florida's gonna have a good game tonight. I think they win. We'll see where that goes. You guys will, obviously know in about 4 hours, but yeah, we'll see where that goes. I'm still rooting for Florida. That would be a big upset if Florida loses after, it's not even so much what they've added. It's just their core guys I really like. I like Barkov and Huberdeau. Barkov's really good.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable defensively and offensively. Huberdeau is like, he's a
freak.
He's a joke, basically. Like, he's just, he's got like 79 assists?
Something like that. It's ridiculous.
He's just a joke. He's so good. And Aaron Ekblad, unreal. Right-handed shot defenseman, huge, equivalent to John Carlson, but younger obviously, so he may even be better than him at some point. So, it's an interesting series. This is one of the more interesting series.
Right.
Not as interesting as Pitt versus the Rangers because I obviously am a Rangers guy. We all know that by now.
Good series. It is.
Yeah, I think Florida wins it tonight. If Washington wins it tonight, Florida's in trouble.
I agree, Jack. I agree. Don't want to spend too much time on one series. We're going to keep moving it along. We want to wait for our... we got a special guest appearance coming up, Johnny 10. Listen.
Oh, yeah.
Let's dive into Boston and Carolina real quick. Another team that I think I personally wrote off was the Boston Bruins.
I did too a bit, yeah.
Jack Farris kind of called it last episode. He said unless that top line has a magnificent night and yada yada, yeah, we know. I mean, Marchand, 5 points. I mean, that's what they need.
Yep.
That's what they need. They need that top line to do that. But the questions are they going to be that consistent? Are they going to do it the next night and the next night, you know?
Yep.
That's where, hey, you got the one night. Now what's going to happen?
Yeah, 100%, Rick. Like I said, but it seems like their top line's kind of carrying the mail right now. And
yes.
Marchand and Bergeron, these guys are. You're not really seeing too much from guys like Charlie Coyle and Jake DeBrusk and stuff like that. They're not scoring the big goals. Taylor Hall, he's been all right. He hasn't been bad.
Playing his role.
He's playing his role. He's definitely contributed, but he hasn't been a lights-out superstar by any means. Yeah, this is a tough one. I kind of wrote off Boston. I didn't write off Boston. I knew Boston wasn't going to be. I knew Boston wasn't going to be a cakewalk. I went with Carolina, and I'm rooting for them just because they got so many ex-Rangers and stuff like that. When I watched that series, look, I'm a Rangers fan, but when I watch Carolina-Boston, I'm rooting for Carolina. Marchand's kind of starting to piss me off. I like him as a player. If he was on the Rangers, I'd love him, but he's starting to fucking get under my nerves.
Of course, that's his job.
So, look, Marchand, he's unbelievable player.
Unbelievable. Talent is
not a question.
Undeniable.
But that's what it's going to take for Boston, I think. It's going to be a guy like Swayman, Ullmark.
Swayman's playing great.
Swayman's playing great. He really is. Man. And he's got to keep playing great. And Ullmark, the jury's kind of out on Ullmark. We don't really know how great he really is yet. He was in Buffalo, which you can't judge a guy for being in Buffalo because they weren't a good team when he was there. He's been okay for Boston. He's had his nights. He's been a little bit inconsistent. We'll see. But Swayman in the mail, he's been good. He actually played with the kid we played with in roller hockey. And, so Swayman's been good. Swayman's going to have to continue to be good, and the top line is going to have to be lights out for them to beat Carolina.
Got to be consistent. It's going to be interesting, for sure.
My money's still on Carolina, though.
I think so, too. I mean, what's the series? It's 2-2.
Tied 2-2, yeah.
Listen, I didn't think that Carolina was going to wipe the floor with them or anything, but I didn't really think it would be 2-2 right now. But, I feel like Carolina, the goalies were playing good, and I think now they're kind of missing, Freddie Anderson. I kind of thought, all right, how long is this going to last? And I know playoffs, people crack under pressure, or they play even better under pressure. So,
all right, boys.
Hate to cut things short, but we got Johnny 10 on the line here live on J&R's PuckHouse. Johnny 10, what's going on?
How you doing, guys? How you enjoying the playoffs so far?
We're we're talking about it. We're watching it. We love it. It's really, it's one of the best times of the year.
Oh yeah, Johnny 10, Jack Farris here. Good to talk to you again.
How you doing, Jack? How's things? All right?
Pretty good. We were just talking about the Carolina-Boston series. You want to give the listeners your opinion on that series while we have you?
Well, I like Carolina. I think it's going to be Carolina and Calgary for the Stanley Cup Finals, but I think both games are 2-2. Boston's tough. They can hit. They got that Long Island boy, McAvoy. He's a star defenseman.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's a good note there. We actually forgot to mention as we're talking about this series that Boston got a big win over Carolina without McAvoy being in the lineup. That's a big win right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yep, I hope he's all well. I like that kid.
Yeah, he's good. No, he's definitely good.
Yeah, Long Beach kid. Throws some mean hits like Scott Stevens back in the day.
Good with the puck too.
Sure. What about the fire to Barry Trotz?
Yeah, that's
I'm a Long Islander fan. I'm an Islander fan from a kid, you know. And Barry Trotz going is, you know, I don't know. It's a little bittersweet.
Yeah,
it is.
I see. My take on it, Johnny 10 is, I think the younger players. I think Lou sees the writing on the wall. I think they're a little tired of his message, and I think guys like Barzell, Wallstrom, maybe even Dobson, like, you know, he's not gonna maybe let them fly so much, and kind of, you know, they're playing that strict defensive style, and maybe Lou sees the writing on the wall and sees them kind of tuning him out and says, hey, if we want to run with this club, we kind of have to change things up and maybe get another voice in the room.
Yeah, maybe you'll see, what's his face come back. Peter Laviolette. Where's he coaching these days? He's not with Nashville. I forget where he went.
He's with Washington right now, so we'll see. We'll see how Washington does.
He's on top with Washington. That's right. How dumb of me.
That's all right.
No, he's been on a lot of different teams. It's
yeah,
tough to keep track of
he's been bouncing out. Yep, he's been bouncing around.
Yeah, and I don't know what the Islanders are thinking of bringing back the Zdeno Chara. That guy, they gave him a paycheck, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't trade him, honestly, at the deadline. Give him a chance.
I thought he was going to be a deadline deal, honestly. What are
you gonna get? Use puck bag from? Maybe a skate sharpener?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
For those who don't know Johnny 10 that are listening in, Johnny 10 played some elite level hockey, roller hockey, and hockey all around. Great player, scouted by the RHI. If you don't know who that is, what that league is, you better look it up. Tried out, got invited to the Florida Hammerheads. You know, played with guys like Scott Anderson of the New Jersey Devils organization. Played against and with Jason Sessa. You know, played with a bunch of guys over the European leagues here in the States. Played with some guys from NYPD and FDNY. You know, beer league legend. Johnny 10, tell us about the RHI experience. That's what I want to know.
Oh, that was way back. That was probably 91, 92. We saw an ad in the paper, the local paper, about a professional roller hockey league. A friend of mine, and we geared up. We were thinking we were the only ones from Long Island going down there. We went down there. We noticed some friends from out east on the island, some people from Nassau County that we played against, because back then roller hockey was really big. It was huge. Men's league roller hockey out in Bayport, out in Miller Place, in Deer Park, out in Belmore, I believe it was, Valley Stream. You know, there was some like hard hitting. That was like pro roller hockey. Yeah, they said there was no hitting, but you know, you go to the hometown. It would be the hometown refs for the hometown team, and you know, things got vicious quickly, but we went out. We won a couple of championships, but when we saw that article, we were about 21 years old. We were drinking beer, and we drove out to Brick, New Jersey, and we tried out, and I ended up getting a letter from the Florida Hammerhead. I never did go to camp, but I did meet up with Joe Tamburino years later on, talk to him about it, and Matt Spronk. I played with the Spronk brothers, Matt Spronk, Jason Sesser, and Joe Tamburino played for the Riot. That was a few years after the RHI failed. It kind of folded right away.
Right.
You know, and then those guys played for the Riot. And I played in a senior men's league in Deer Park with Jason Sesser, who's an unbelievable athlete, player. Played against Charlie Vigdasigwe in that league and had the pleasure of playing with Charlie. Charlie's the captain of the NYPD team. And, you know, I got a lot of good fond memories of those guys, you know. And it's nice to know them. I actually got smoked by Scott Anderson in an overtime roller hockey tournament. He totally undressed me along the boards, but it was fair game. He's a great player, too. Good guy, too. He's over in Europe now, or maybe he hung it up. He played 2 games with the Devils. He played in Russia for a little while. He played in the KHL. And, but it was nice to hang with those guys a little bit, you know? Hometown boys, be able to skate on the line with them, or second line or whatever.
Absolutely. Now, was Scott Anderson a guy locally on the island?
Scott Anderson was a guy. The Scott Anderson that I played inline roller hockey with, he was a West Islip guy. He was a couple of years younger than me, but he's probably about 6'2", 185. He's pretty. You know, hockey players, 2% body fat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always moving, man. Sport that always moves.
Moving.
You got to be able to move on your feet.
Hands like lightning. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I believe it. Yeah, that sounds like a hell of experience there, Johnny. It's quite nice to have somebody on the show here with all that experience and knowledge. What do you really think? What are your thoughts? I want to save the Trot stuff for more so of the off season and whatnot, and when we get into after playoffs and whatnot. But I mean, for a guy that won the trophy, right, with the Islanders and whatnot after coaching a year there, one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and then turns them around to be one of the best defensive teams. I know Jack Farris was saying before that maybe some things were going on internally in the locker room, and honestly, I might have even said that. Oh, not that I might have. I definitely said that the first month in. I could tell some things going on. But, what are your thoughts? What do you really think that Islanders being some bottom feeders, as Rick Adams here is a big fan of the Islanders, but, Islanders being, not that good, and then showed some hope with Tavares, then he leaves, and now we bring in Trotz, and he looks great, and we finally bring back some relevance. Like, what do you think now, honestly?
The Islanders didn't have a home for a long time. I think Nassau County screwed them around a lot. The John Tavares deal, I think he was just homesick and wanted to go sleep in his own bed with his Toronto Maple Leafs sheets and his feety pajamas. I don't think he was really ever committed. I think he's a great player and everything, but I just didn't, wholeheartedly, I was upset when he was gone. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
My heart told me that, he wasn't the right fit, especially when Matthew Barzal came on the scene. Barzal, I think, is he's going to be a really big elite player, you got these young kids coming from Canada. They're coming to the United States. They're coming to New York. They're coming to Long Island. They're a little overwhelmed. They're basically disciplined guys, but, you got to gel them all together, and they're still young, and they want to do what they want to do, I guess, but they have to live somehow. Maybe Barry Trotz wasn't the fix. Maybe he's got some personal issues. Maybe Lou Amarillo and him aren't talk time, but,
who knows?
I think Jim Hiller is their assistant coach. I think he's up for a promotion, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes. Don't forget, the Islanders got struck with COVID early on.
Yep.
They had Ryan Clark,
Big role
for a little while.
Yep.
They had some, they had some demons to face. They had some deep issues.
Oh yeah.
They got issues. Joshua Sang, and that had to clear up and everything like that. And a new arena being built, 13, 14, 15 games on the road,
Oh, yeah.
Not sleeping in your own bed. So, they had a challenge here, I believe. And, this is just to top it off is, firing of the coach.
Yeah.
And then we got some big signings next year, right? Isn't Barzal due for contract?
Believe so. It's going to be interesting how this all plays out. Who knows if he resigns? I think maybe that was one of the things. Maybe that was one of the things that he already spoke about to Mr. Lou there. Hey, get rid of Trotz, and maybe I'll resign with you. Maybe not. Maybe he goes. I will.
I was going to say that, Johnny 10. I think maybe it's a possibility. You see how good Barzal is. His first year in the league, he had 87 points or something like that. I mean, it's a possibility that, Lou's smart enough to read players and say, hey, this guy Barzal is kind of getting sick of Trotz and his message. And, even if he doesn't agree with the way Barzal thinks, he sees how skilled he is and the future he has and the potential he has, and says, hey, if I get another coach in here that kind of lets him fly and do his thing, and, you realize what you have in certain players. Barzal is not the type of guy that's a shutdown, defensive, block shots, play this strict defensive style. He's like, all right, I'm very fast. I'm an amazing skater. I'm going to fly around and dish the puck off and get around guys and stuff like that. And maybe another coach is better suited for that type of style. And, maybe he flourishes as a coach.
Well, each team has their own system that they want to play and everything like that. But I think, the trade with Eberle and Taze and everything and Letty going, that was a salary cap issue. And then we had the Seattle Kraken coming into the league too, so we had to protect players that way. But then again, you look at it, you got this guy Oliver Wahlstrom that could really shoot and fire the puck. you keep them two on the line, and you got big boy Anders Lee in there, mucking it up in the crease if he stays healthy. You got a potential, genuine first line right there.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It's the system. Maybe it is the system that they're not liking. I don't know. Maybe they need to be more in your face. But those three guys there, they like to skate. They like to move the puck.
Oh yeah, I like Anders Lee a lot. I think he's like a clutch money player. He's big. He plays the right way. I think I could see him having a big year next year, and he's gonna be with the Islanders for a while. I can't see them moving him.
Yeah, that's the captain. Big in front of the net presence right there.
Yeah,
Anders Lee, absolutely.
You know what you said, Johnny 10? I know you mentioned Devin Taves. I do think that's one huge mistake Lou made, and I think salary cap affects every team, and every team kind of has to give up someone they don't want to give up because of the salary cap, I guess. But maybe we're kind of seeing it from the standpoint of how good Colorado is and all the good players he's playing with, but he's having 2 unbelievable years with Colorado, defensively and offensively. So, I mean, I think if you had Taves right now on your blue line, the blue line the Islanders got, you have Devin Taves to that. I think that really makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
He's the lefty shot too, right?
Yep. Devin Taves is a guy you wanna keep, and I thought he proved that with his time with the Islanders. I figured that was a guy that they would work around to keep, but I guess not.
Yep. Who knows what's going to happen? We got a big off season, got to get through the playoffs right now. I'm liking Colorado. The Cup hasn't been in Canada for a while. I'd like to see him go there. The Rangers, I don't like the Rangers one bit, but I do like the guy with the long hair. Not those. What the hell is his name?
Panarin?
No, Panarin's. He left us for $1 million. We offered him $1 million more, and he left us.
Yeah,
crazy.
You're right. I guess you don't like him.
You like Shesterkin, the goalie.
Well, the 2 goalies are unbelievable for the Rangers. You can't say anything bad about them. Drawing a blank of his name. I talk about him all the time. I can't believe it. He's got the long hair.
Oh, Trouba. Maybe Trouba, the big right-handed shot D.
Zibanejad? Zibanejad. You talk about Mika Zibanejad? Yeah.
Zibanejad. That guy's a phenomenal player. He's unbelievable.
He is. Righty shot. No, he's good. Mika's good.
Yeah, he's a solid player, no doubt. He's
got heart. He's got a lot of heart.
Yeah, he wants to be a Ranger, no doubt.
Yeah.
You know what, Johnny?
Right, guys,
Johnny 10. I got one more question before we let you go. Since you've played in big games before, and you've obviously coached a little bit in your history, what do you think the biggest thing in like a big pressure game psychologically? How do you get your nerves kind of under control to play in that big pressure game if you're an athlete? When some of these young guys that aren't experienced, that maybe it's their first playoff run, like how do you get the nerves under control? How do you play in big games and kind of rely on your teammates and play the right way?
Well, I mean, I never played in anything as big as what these guys are playing in, but what I would say to them is that, just, be yourself and whatever your pregame is, do your pregame, and, you work as a team and you got to be there for each other. Every day you're on the road with each other, where each other's on the ice, and you got to make sure you make that pass, make that move, make that hit, and you got to get back to your defensive zone when you have to be there. You got to play a hard-hitting, honest, fast-skating game, and at the end of the game, you look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you did 110%, then you probably did a good job out there, and you'll probably come out with a W.
I like that.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer, Johnny 10. All right. If you have to go, Johnny 10, I know you're a busy man. That will wrap things up for our interview. Looking forward to more. If you have anything else to say, I guess you could say it now and whatnot. Not rushing you off, but I know we cut you off.
I'm good. Go Flames, man.
Go Flames.
All right, we're going to put that in the books. Johnny 10 picks the Flames for the Cup.
All right, bye.
All right, thanks, Johnny.
10.
Bye.
We'll have you on soon.
Well, that was Johnny 10, folks. Experienced guy, big hockey player, does what he does. It's going to be interesting, like you said. Johnny 10 made the bold pick there. Calgary Flames. That's a series I want to dive into since he brought that up. Ottinger has been playing great. And another team that I did write off was the Dallas Stars. I want to talk about how good Ottinger is playing And not only that, how important home games are. I mean, look at it, folks. You know, you got the Caps playing great at home. You got Dallas playing great at home. I mean, this is just something else out there. The only team who's not playing great at home is the Nashville Predators, and
Yep.
I think the Abs, you know, not to bounce around right now, but you know, Abs bring out the brooms tonight. But we'll get into that. But Calgary, man, what's going on? You know, Gaudreau's playing good. I think Gaudreau's playing fine. I just what is going on? It's strange. Is Dallas playing that much greater, or is Calgary underperforming in a way? What do you think, Jack?
Well, Rick, one word for Dallas. I think it is two people. Jake Ottinger, and I think Joe Pavelski's making a big difference because he's a big-time player. So, it's definitely Ottinger playing well. If he continues to play well, I think they have a shot. I'm still riding with Calgary, like our boy Johnny 10 said. I think they got too much depth.
Yeah.
I think between Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau, their blue line, Jacob Markstrom, I don't see Dallas winning the series. But I think the reason they're so competitive is Ottinger's really stepped up and played well. There's no doubt about it. And look, I'm not saying that Dallas doesn't have good players. They got a nice blue line, Heiskanen and Klingberg. Who knows? He may be traded in the off. He may not traded. He may sign somewhere else in the offseason. He's already kind of requested a trade mid-season. But it's an interesting series. It's kind of similar to Washington, Florida, because Dallas, I think, is doing a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for, and they're getting it done. They're getting in there and they're being competitive, and I just think Calgary's kind of a wagon. Like they're just they got every position filled, and I'd be very surprised if Dallas wins this series, and they shouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be an upset. I think you got Gaudreau, Tkachuk, Lindholm, you got Mangiapane. You got a solid blue line. You got an awesome goalie. I think Calgary wins it. We'll see. But I can't see Dallas winning, Stars fans. You got some solid pieces there, but I just don't think you're as good as Calgary.
Yeah, that's not a hot take. That's not anything, out there, far-fetched, outrageous. But like we said, it's two players. I shouldn't even say that. It's not two players. It's a team sport. But two guys that are standing out is Joe Pavelski and Jake Ottinger, right? Something like that.
Jake Ottinger, young goalie. Correct me if I'm wrong, fans. Think Boston College. But he's playing unbelievable. So he's if he keeps playing that way, look. I think Dallas in the future, you got Ottinger locked. If he keeps playing the way he's playing and he gets better and better, that's a good sign for Dallas.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying when you're looking at both teams, I know Dallas has played a lot better than I gave them credit for, and a lot of other people from TSN and wherever else you're listening to is giving them credit for. But I don't think they get past Calgary. And if they do, geez, I mean, maybe maybe I'm not paying enough attention to Dallas then.
Right.
But
right.
I think Calgary is just too good to lose to Dallas.
Yeah. No, I agree, Jack. It's interesting. Dallas is definitely an under-the-radar team. Definitely a team that I wrote off and everything like that. I think we're seeing a little bit of underperformance from Matthew Tkachuk. And I know he has 2 assists, but is he going to score anytime? Is he going to score yet? I think he's due for a goal tonight.
I do.
If I'm betting on it, I might go on to MGM Bets right now.
Yeah.
And fucking place the end-of-time goal scorer right now, Matthew Tkachuk. I think he's due for a goal. And
Not
if
a
there's a
bad bet.
time to do it, is right now.
He's the type of player, too. He's going to, he's going to score the clutch goal. The thing I love about Tkachuk is he'll put it through his legs and put it top shelf, but he'll also, run into the corner at 75 miles an hour, get hit a guy, go to the net, and then get a greasy fucking chip in, jam in goal, because that's the type of player he is. That's why I like him so much. And that's why I always say, I mentioned it to my dad, who's a big Ranger fan too, if the Rangers had a guy like Tkachuk, that's who they need. You know what I mean? I don't know if they'll ever get him. I don't know if Calgary will give him up or if he goes somewhere else, but he's unreal. Calgary fans are lucky. If they lock him in, he's you surround him with skilled players. The guy had, 102 points this year?
Yeah, he could something like that. It was 104, 107.
He probably doesn't even get
crazy.
it. Even though he's a Tkachuk and everyone knows the Tkachuks if you follow hockey, like I said, he's not going into the corner boards lightly, and He's not afraid to get hit. He's not afraid to hit guys. He could score however you want him to score. He's, I don't know. Maybe I'm like talking him up too much now. I should probably have a Matthew Tkachuk fucking jersey on the way. I'm talking so much about him, but he's unreal. I could see him scoring a huge goal, like the overtime goal tonight or some shit like that. But yeah, he's bottom line. Yeah, I don't see Dallas getting past Calgary at all. I think Calgary gets it done.
Yeah,
No
I
doubt.
agree. I just think that there's two key things here. Is that Ottinger, like we said before, playing lights out, and then Calgary, they just need their key guys to step up, and once they do that, I really think it would be a wrap. But that's a big if they step up and play the game that they're supposed to play.
Yeah, I think Calgary is supposed to go deep this year. Johnny Gaudreau's played 3 games. It looks like he's got 2 assists and -2. I think starting tonight, you got to see more out of Gaudreau because of how good he's played in the in the regular season. He's going to command big money contract. There's no doubt. So whether he stays with Calgary or goes somewhere else, he's going to have to step it up. He's going to have to score some goals. Daryl Sutter's system is very almost kind of like Trotz's system in a sense, very defensive minded. We'll see what happens. I mean, it doesn't matter if Calgary wins by 6 goals or 1 as long as they win, right? So
Absolutely, win to win.
Their goaltender's so good, their blue line's so good. As long as one of those big guys, Gaudreau, Tkachuk, Lindholm, Mangiapane, whoever scores, if they could get 1 or 2, they'll be good to go. And
Lindholm's been playing good.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, Jack, but Lindholm, I know we're kind of shitting on the Calgary Flames, but Lindholm is somebody that has been good, has been consistent, playing 2 ways.
I'd like to see more of Toffoli, for sure.
I'd like to see more Toffoli.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I mean,
He was
guy's
coached
pointless.
he was coached by Sutter, too. So you'd like to see more out of him, maybe some big goals out of him, which, that may happen tonight. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll stay tuned there. Listen, folks, best series so far, in Rick Adams' opinion, is the LA Kings versus the Edmonton Oilers. But not only that, it's also going to be the New York Rangers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins that is playing live right now as we are recording this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them, and we'll dive into LA and Edmonton later, but both series are really just great. They're neck and neck. It's just what you love to see. If you're a fan of one team, you're probably having a fucking panic attack and whatnot. But as a non-fan of these teams, I just love watching this style of hockey, man. This is it's playoff hockey. It's neck and neck. I mean, you can't ask for more. You really can't.
100%, Rick. Every night, there's a good game on. There's a game where you want to watch. You know what I mean? So that's what playoff hockey, if you're a hockey fan, is just so fun.
It's great.
It's like Christmas.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's why I say it's the best time of the year.
You have a couple beers, you watch a playoff game. It's entertaining. It's fun. I just watched Alexis Lafreniere score live here while we're watching, so you know where we're at. Listen, it's a lot of fun. I know Rick said the Oilers versus Kings is his most watched series and his most entertaining.
Yeah.
I have to say Rangers Pitt just because I'm a Rangers fan, number 1. And number 2, it's competitive. Listen, I'll give Pitt credit. They're playing unbelievable. Letang is playing unbelievable. Crosby, Malkin, and I think a lot of people are forgetting about Jeff Carter and how good he is. He's won cups. And
Gensel, too.
Yeah.
Gensel, 4
Pittsburgh's
goals,
a good
man.
team, and, maybe I was sleeping on them a bit, but Rangers are playing. They're hustling. They're playing good. Losing Goodrow hurts. There's no doubt because he did a lot of he was like a Swiss Army knife for the Rangers. He killed penalties and did a lot of work. But
I like that Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, but I think no excuses because listen, Pittsburgh doesn't even have their starting goalie. They have Louis Domingue. No disrespect to him, but that's not their starting goalie. So if the Rangers can't beat him, they can't make excuses and say we have injuries because every team has injuries. So. It's an interesting series to watch. I do think the Raiders are in trouble if they don't win tonight. That's for sure.
Big time trouble.
They got to win tonight on the road in Pitt, and
big game.
Yeah, it's a big game for them. There's no doubt, and this could be a defining moment for them.
I think so too, Jack. I think you're right. I think games like this, you're down by, it's 2-1 in the series. Pittsburgh leads. I think games like this, if you could sneak in a win I think that's like one of the deciding factors of how the series plays out. Just like how I mean, I know it went to triple OT, but Pittsburgh snuck a win in the first game there, on the road. So, and you could say it vice versa for both teams and whatnot, but, these home games really matter. And you could argue that the road games really matter. Every game matters. We all know this. It's the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
But, like I said before, and I said I'm going to mention it and all the time throughout this podcast episode, games at home is just such a different atmosphere, man. It's
especially
just
in the
so
playoffs.
different.
Yep.
It's so different, especially in the playoffs. You can't compare it to the regular season. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of even players admit that, like, a lot of buildings are loud and,
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Chris Kreider that even said, like, the Pittsburgh fans were chanting, Igor, Igor, and he's like, hey, that'll come back to bite them in the ass because when he plays well, he's going to be motivated even more so now.
Yeah.
So, there's no doubt that the fans make a difference, especially in these big markets like Pittsburgh and New York and Boston. Washington even, Toronto, because Tampa's won 2 cups, so they've gained a lot of fans. And I've heard I'd love to go see a game in Tampa, but I've heard their arena's pretty damn loud now. So,
I believe it.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It gives the guys energy. You got the whole crowd, like, chanting and rooting for you. It gives you energy, and it definitely makes a difference. There's no doubt about it, especially in the playoffs, because the fans are more into it in the playoffs. Every game matters way more in the playoffs.
Absolutely. A guy I want to mention is that we didn't really get to mention in the past episode is Andrew Kopp. The addition of Andrew Kopp to the New York Rangers. I think, I really personally believe that he's that player, that centerman, that really fills the role perfectly, as good as it gets. I really do love that addition just as much as the Claude Giroux addition for the Florida Panthers. And this is coming from an Islanders fan, folks. Andrew Kopp, he's just an all-around great player.
Oh, yeah.
He's not scared to get physical, but he's also a goal scorer. He could put the puck in the net. He ain't shy with that. He's not shy to go into the boards and dig deep and win those battles and whatnot. But he's all around great, and that's what more could you ask for, right? All around great, does the dirty work, but also puts the puck in the net. What more could you ask for at the trade deadline going into the playoffs?
100%. Guy could win faceoffs. He plays physical, like you said. He's got a relationship with Jacob Trouba because they're both from Michigan, I believe, and they both played in Winnipeg a bit together. But he's big. He plays physical, like you said, Rick, and he's got playoff experience with Winnipeg. I know he hasn't won, but he's went fairly deep with Winnipeg. So, that's not to be taken lightly, and I love his game so far. He's scared of the big games. He's
definitely not scared.
No, and he's not scared to play physical and play play that dirty style, kind of that grimy, like get in the front of the net and deflect pucks and dig pucks out of corners. Like, he's not shying away from that at all. And I think he's a big acquisition. Will they be able to keep him? Who knows? I think he's going to make some serious dough.
Yeah.
Because he's put up points and he's proven that he's good year after year after year.
Right.
So we'll see if we could afford him. But I love the addition for the playoffs. I think it was a smart move by Drury for sure. I think, just to add on the Rangers Pitt series, as much as I love my Rangers, if knock on wood they do lose.
That wasn't wood, by the way.
That wasn't wood, but this is wood. So I do think that the only reason they lose is because of inexperience, and I think a lot of their blue line is kind of inexperienced, and I think a lot of Pittsburgh is experienced, and a lot of Pittsburgh's been there. Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carter, Gensel, these guys, Rust, these guys have been there, done that in those big games. They know what they should do and shouldn't do. I don't know if the Rangers necessarily have that experience yet. Obviously, I'm still rooting for my Rangers. I love them. I think they're capable of beating Pittsburgh. There's no doubt. But if for some reason they don't, I think that's what's come down to is experience. And I think once these Rangers players get more experience, like the Keandre Miller, Braden Schneider's, Hedel, Lafreniere, Kakko, once these guys get playoff experience, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
And I'm not counting them out yet because I do think they're capable of beating Pittsburgh. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a Rangers fan. I do think they're capable. But I do think Pittsburgh The only reason they're really giving the Rangers such a hard time right now is because of their experience factor, and those guys that have been there and they're not scared by the big moment.
Right. No, I agree, Jack. I agree. One before we change over to the next series here. Penguins' depth has been stepping it up, especially last game.
Yep.
Rodriguez, Heinen,
Teddy
clutch
Bluger.
moments, Bluger, yeah. Listen, when top guys aren't performing, not that they aren't in the whole series, but, on that night or that game, given the moment, when they're not stepping up, it's great to see the bottom six stepping up,
Yep.
and that's what you ask for.
Yep.
That's what you ask for. Not only the work that they put in general, but, when somebody's having an off night and whatnot, and they step up and be able to produce like that, that's just a match made in heaven.
Yep.
And just like every other game and every other series, consistency.
Yep.
Is Crosby gonna go play lights out every game? Is Evan Rodriguez gonna start picking it up, because he was consistent as hell in the beginning of the season. He got up to like 15 goals, and then he kind of drifted off.
Cooled off a bit.
Yeah, he cooled off a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but now, is he back? We'll see. Right now, it's live going on.
I think the Pittsburgh coaching staff and management kind of know what Crosby's capable of, and they know the presence he commands, kind of.
Absolutely.
And they know that
He's a threat.
He's won cups. Everyone knows. Maybe he's not the best player in the NHL anymore because of McDavid and Matthews, maybe even McKinnon, but
Still a top 10, of course.
Yeah, and and for so long he was so good. He's won 3 cups. He's won a gold medal. He's done it all. So if there's a player coming into that locker room that's not putting in the effort that he is, they're gonna, he's gonna know, and they're gonna know. Oh, I'm not putting in as much effort. So even if they don't have the skill level and the natural talent that Crosby has and Malkin has, that same effort every practice and every game. You're going to get a lot out of players that maybe, if they were on different teams with not the same leadership and the same coaching staff, maybe you wouldn't get as much out of them. Maybe you wouldn't be getting as much out of an Evan Rodriguez or a Teddy Bluger or, a Danton Heinen, guys like this. You may not get as much out of them if they were on a different team. If they were on an Arizona or Winnipeg or, an Anaheim, whatever it is. So I do think that makes a huge difference, the leadership, having Crosby there. So, yeah, we'll see. Obviously, goes without saying that I'm rooting for my Rangers, and I really do think they're capable of beating them. But,
yeah, I think so. And that's coming from an honest fan. I think so.
The Rangers they're on the road in Pitt, and they have to. I think they have to win tonight, or they're in trouble. But they're up 1-0, and they're playing hard. I want if their young guys keep playing well, like the Schneider, Miller. It's going to come down to that, and it's also going to come down to their big guys. Kreider, can he keep scoring? Can Zibanejad and Panarin contribute every night? Can
it's all about consistency.
Yeah. Can Shesterkin keep standing on his head? That might be friggin' 75% of it right there, because he's kept them in a lot of games. There's no doubt. If you had a different goalie,
Right. Johnny 10 earlier was saying that you got to respect both goalies, but and this is no hate or anything. I don't trust Gorgiev. I'm sorry, man. And it's no hate on Gorgiev if he ever winds up listening to this, or all you Ranger fans out there. I don't trust Gorgiev. For obvious reasons. Shesterkin's a fucking brick wall, Oh, man, we just saw somebody go down. Rodriguez, oh, shit. Talking about him. Is he going to be able to bounce back? He's trying to bite his lip, folks, and draw some blood, I see.
Typical Pittsburgh.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's all right.
Yeah, I think Nemeth took a penalty there, so.
Ooh. There's a little high stick there. A little high stick action. Listen. Perfect time to talk about it. Let's talk about it, folks. I have it on my notes here. The Rangers' penalties are going to come back and haunt them. So I'm calling... Risky Rick is calling a fucking Pittsburgh power play goal. I'd love to see how this pans out, whatnot. They're going to commercial break. We'll have another couple minutes to talk about some other stuff. Don't worry, if Pittsburgh scores, I'll make sure I mention it.
I think the Rangers hold out. I think Shesterkin gets this penalty done with. I think the Rangers got enough penalty killers, and Shishirkin's good enough that they'll hold out. But we'll see.
We'll see, because listen, last game they were, Penguins were 2 for 3 on the power play, and listen, special teams is a big deal, especially in the playoffs. Just to make a note, just a little side note, and I'm a little pissed off I didn't mention it in the Capitals Florida Panthers series. Florida has never scored a power play goal. The Capitals' penalty kill percentage is 100%.
Do you know how many power plays they've gotten or no?
I have no idea. I'd be laughing right now if they're zero. Let me.
You know how many times I've said that if Carolina and with Boston, Carolina, Boston has to stop taking penalties because Carolina capitalizes on pretty much every power play. Last game, Mother's Day, Sunday, they didn't really capitalize the way they should have, but.
Yeah, last game they were 0 for 3 on the power play, so even if they had only 3 power play chances, Florida Panthers, come on. You gotta put one in the net.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if is that goalie or their decor?
Well, I'll tell you what. Not to get sidetracked again, but Samsonov played lights out, man.
He did.
I think he earned the start now, going forward.
He did. He played good.
I really do. Yeah. I really think I think if I'm the coach of the Washington Capitals, if I'm Peter Laviolette, I'm riding with Samsonov. Just based off of last game's performance.
Ride the hot goalie.
Yeah, ride the hot goalie. We were saying it last episode and the previous episode, folks. Ride that hot goalie. All right, so that Pittsburgh Penguins power play is about to start off right now, and we'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated. We're not announcers here. We just talk hockey. We're not going to give you the play-by-play. Tang with the puck, going into the deep zone. No, we're just kidding. But listen, we're going to go on to the next series, and if Penguins score, I'm going to say I told you so. The power play is looking a little vicious right now. I'm not going to lie. They're moving the puck very well. But again, on to the next series, folks. Let's dive into the power play goal by the Pittsburgh Penguins. You gotta is it waved off, folks? Hold on.
Oh, Risky Rick.
Risky Rick made his choice, man.
Risky Rick might be taking a risk, right?
Yeah, Risky Rick. They're gonna go to Toronto. The guy in Toronto has money on the game, so they're letting fucking Pittsburgh have the goal. Listen.
He might have money on the Rangers.
We'll keep you updated. Yeah, he might have money on the Rangers, so it might get overturned, Maybe he has money on both games, like Risky Rick over here is a fucking degenerate gambler. Okay, by the looks of it, I think that's a goal, folks. Hold on, we're gonna give you live takes right now on the Rangers and Penguins.
It's tough.
I can't even even fucking tell. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Let Risky Rick and Jack Farris get a nickname for Jack Farris. We're gonna call him Laid Back Jack because he's so laid back. He talks in a nice, calm voice when he's on the podcast. He does a little bit of this.
Well, that's a mix of first of all the Rangers. I'm trying to keep a tab on the Rangers, and the pollen was covering my car today, so I think I got a little bit of allergies going on.
I'll meet you in the middle there.
Yeah.
My shit was bad this morning too. Yeah, we suffer from allergies, man, this time.
Wait till the middle of June. I'll be screaming so loud. I'll be breaking Rick's friggin' mirrors here.
There's a guy in the box. Oh, I'm fucking drunk already, man. Of course there's a guy in the box. Fucking power play. I thought they put somebody in the box there. Alright.
Listen, fans, what we might start doing too, if we get enough good feedback, we might do some live games where we got it on video and you guys could kind of, talk with us a bit.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do a little live stream. There's nothing wrong with that. I would be down for that as long as the fans are.
We get enough fans contributing and kind of liking stuff and commenting and telling us what we're how we're doing and what they
I would love
what their opinions are. 100%.
I think we'll definitely do that for the Stanley Cup Finals. Let us build our audience. Let us do our thing. Let's be, listen. I think we do a good job. I don't want to get too cocky and confident. No. Not that Jack is or anything, but I think Stanley Cup Finals is doable.
Oh yeah.
I think that's realistic. I think that's a good thing.
I'm not
for the
asking
show here.
for hundreds of fans. Even if we got friggin' 9 fans, I'll put the video up. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, folks, for those who are not watching, I know this will be uploaded the next day, but it looks like it was. Looks like it was. They're calling it that Shesterkin already covered it, and Crosby came in over there and shoveled it into the net. I guess it was an early whistle because by the looks of it right now, there's still. But it looks like Shesterkin covers it up on the left side of the post, and then Crosby's right there to poke it in, and then it goes in. I mean,
it's all about that whistle.
Yeah, it's all about the whistle. Right. Look, it looks right there, and then it's in. I mean, when did we call the whistle? When did the refs call the whistle? I don't have the sound on because we're currently live recording, but just by the body language, it's looking like a Pittsburgh no goal. I could be totally wrong. It's still under review. They're
Crosby
showing us.
looks a little pissed.
Yeah, Crosby looks pissed. That's why I'm saying, based off the body language. But keep in mind that it is still in review. We're seeing live feed from the Toronto room, but we see Crosby complaining to the ref as always, and we're going to give you a live feed. I mean, to me, Jack, depending on the whistle, it looks like a clear goal to me, man. I mean, it really does. It's not covered. It's not like it was completely covered.
I hate to say it, but I think it's a good goal.
I really think it is, depending on that whistle. But at the end of the day, it looks pretty loose. Why is the ref fucking calling that whistle so early?
I think it's a good goal. And
we're gonna see the live announcement right now, folks.
Rangers got it back. Good goal.
We're gonna see it right now, folks. It's a good goal, folks. Risky Rick called it. Just saying that the Pittsburgh Penguins were going to score a power play goal. Listen.
Risky, did you just win some money or what?
I didn't win some money. I got money on both games, so I don't care who wins. I mean, on both teams, so I don't care who wins. So
I was going to say, you're paying for the food.
Yeah.
For the pizza.
Yeah, we'll get pizza after. I can't wait. Buffalo and a regular, no problem.
Right, not a problem.
All right, listen, folks. Enough about that game. But let's dive in really quick. Really, really quick, because it's going to be quick. And I'm sorry to all you Nashville fans out there. Colorado versus the Nashville Predators. It's just one of those teams that are so good. And I've said it earlier. We're going to see we're going to see a team take advantage of a team that's just not there. Nashville is a great team. They're a good team. They're not bad. They're in the playoffs for a reason. It's just that the Colorado Avalanche are that good.
Yeah,
they're that good.
They're not the
that
Colorado
good.
Avalanche. Yeah, that's what it comes
They're
down
that
to, Rick. One ththing, I really like Ryan Johansson as a player, and I think he plays hard, and he was good for a while. I don't know what it is, if he's just getting older or something. He hasn't been contributing the way he should be. He's getting paid as like a top centerman, and you would think this guy has 75 points a year. He's not contributing the way he should be, especially in the playoffs, in my opinion. I like the guy. I've actually bought clothing from him. He's got like a clothing brand.
He's got a clothing line?
Yeah, JRT it's called. He's actually
JRT?
He's got cool stuff.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I bought a hat and I think a t-shirt from him or something. He's got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But he's I don't think he's, I don't know if he's had injuries or if he's just hasn't been up to par with where he should be. But, Duchene's actually been playing amazing in the regular season and in the playoffs. I think he's been pretty damn good.
Man. Oh, dude.
I like Granlund. I like their team. I like Roman Josi might win the friggin' Norris. Like, it's not like they're not a good team. UC Saros is good. I think it's like you said, Rick. I think Colorado is just that good. Yeah. And that skilled and that deep.
Right.
And they've made the right acquisitions at the deadline that they're going to get past Nashville. And I like Nashville.
I agree.
like Nashville as a city. I've been
Nashville's
there.
great.
It's awesome.
Never been there, but I heard.
I never went there for a playoff game, but I went there for a regular season game. When Nashville wins, that people just pile onto Broadway and start drinking. It's so friggin' cool and fun. But I don't think they're down 3-0. They're not gonna beat Colorado.
Yeah, and listen, even if Saros was in there and he was healthy and he was playing every game, I think he is a difference maker. Don't get me wrong. Maybe the series is, maybe it's 2-1, but I still think the Avs are gonna win. You know, I think listen, I would like to say, I really would like to say that the Predators do get one win, but honestly, I think the Avs get the brooms out and just they sweep them. I really do. I really do think they sweep them. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all. But at the same time, it wouldn't shock me if they take the Predators lightly and Predators come out and they sneak a win in.
Yeah.
So, it's vice versa. You could say this and that, but Colorado Avalanche, man, they're just so good. Cale Makar's so good. Rantanen's so good. Landeskog coming back and putting up that performance, so good. I can say everybody's so good because they are so good.
Yeah.
But
they're a good team.
Yeah, no, they're a great team, and I think the biggest question mark is we're kind of talking about their goaltending. Their goaltending's playing great against this series. What happens in round 2?
Yeah.
That's where it's going to get interesting. That's where the talks about the Colorado Avalanche are going to get super interesting, and we'll focus them more because honestly, in this series here, we really haven't been following too much. We really haven't been talking about it too much, but it's point proven 3-0, and we'll see how everything pans out.
Oh yeah.
So
I think we got another real interesting series. One of my favorite ones to watch besides Rangers Pitt, Toronto Tampa.
Absolutely, Jack. I was waiting for you to bring it up. This is kind of
back and forth.
It is.
I think I just watched the interview this morning actually where Sheldon Keefe, the coach of Toronto Maple Leafs, was interviewed by I think Steve Simmons. I believe he's a TSN reporter. Where fans, you could reach out if I'm wrong, but he basically said, "Oh, why'd you start your worst defenseman, Justin Hall, in the against Tampa late in the game?" And it's see, honestly, I would have liked to see Sheldon Keefe fire back at this reporter. He really didn't. I think that would have been a great opportunity for Sheldon Keefe to turn around and kind of stick up for his team and stick up for his players. Whether he thinks Justin Hall is playing good or not, even if he doesn't, you stick up for your fucking players, I think.
Absolutely.
And I think that goes a long way in the dressing room. Like, you tell that media person, hey, you're fucking wrong. You're not in that locker room. You never were. You don't know what you're talking about. He's a good fucking player. And, you should keep your mouth shut. You don't know what you're talking about. Maybe embarrass him a little bit because... And I think Sheldon Keefe was too nice to him. He's like, oh, well, that's your opinion. It's like, no, stick up for your fucking players. Make your players want to play for you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's what I think. And, maybe...
You gotta have your players back.
Yeah, I think you gotta back your players up. Even if they're not playing well, I think you gotta back your players up. Because those are the guys that are going out for you every night and battling and trying to win. You can't sleep on Toronto. They're skilled. They have a lot of skill. Matthews is unbelievable. Nylander has a lot of skill. Marner has a lot of skill. Tampa's going to win the series. They have the skill, but they have the heart. They've got the experience. They've got the depth. You got a guy like Corey Perry scoring big goals. You got Braden Point playing unbelievable. He's up by 4 goals. He's still trying to fight guys, and he's got the heart and the passion. Right. I don't see Toronto beating Tampa. That's I just don't. I think Tampa's going to win. Like I said, they have the depth. They have everything.
They do.
They have the goaltending. They got everything.
It's I was so high in Toronto, and I still am a little bit, but Tampa's grooving right now. The best they have all season.
Yeah.
That's scary. That's scary, Jack. That's where it comes.
You have a guy that most the average hockey fan doesn't know, like a guy like Ross Colton that's scoring big goals and playing lights out for them. And he's playing with guys like Maroon and Brandon Hagel and stuff like that. Look, Tampa's winning. I don't see it from Toronto. I don't think they have the heart and the determination and the grit and the willpower to get past Tampa. And I also don't like the fact that their coach barely stood up for them. He's I look, Sheldon Keefe's experienced enough where I think he should have put that reporter in his place and stood up for his team. Instead, he kind of let the guy shit on his fucking defenseman that and said, oh, well, that's your opinion. I don't like that. That's just me personally, though. But, yeah, Tampa's got the depth. I like what Julian Breezeball did at the deadline with Nick Paul and Brandon Hagel and those guys. You know, Tampa's beating Toronto. I'm calling it. I know Toronto's got good players. I love Austin Matthews. I just don't think they have what it takes to get past Tampa.
I agree, Jack. We just took a live look at Chris Kreider taking a puck to the neck. It looks like. Prayers out to him, man. I hope he's okay, man. That's a real detrimental loss to the New York Rangers if he's out.
Yeah, if they lose him,
that is definitely concerning as a loss to the team. And then as a human being, that is a puck to the neck. He looked okay. He skated off. He went to the locker room, but good sign is that he got up off his own feet. Hopes and prayers out to him. Listen, I agree with you, Jack. Tampa is just that good, but I think the biggest test for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now is next game.
Yep.
Next game, see what they really are about. And honestly, man, if there's a game I'm looking forward to, it is that game. Because this is probably the biggest test for the Toronto Maple Leafs in recent years. I mean, they're going neck and neck, right, with the Stanley Cup champs 2 times.
Yeah.
Probably the greatest roster that they've had in a very long time.
Yep.
Better than they ever been. Matthews is just unreal. Nylander's playing great, But it's really going to be interesting on how that pans out with them with next game, and I'm very interested to see how this all plays, and I cannot wait to watch that game. I really can't.
Me too. That's one of the most interesting series for me besides Rangers and Pitt. So you fans let us know what you think, but I'd be very surprised Toronto gets past Tampa just with the way they're playing and everything's going. They're not playing bad. They're tied 2-2, but it's just. I think Tampa has what it takes to get past them. I don't think Toronto has what it takes to get past Tampa. Simple as that.
No, I agree. Listen, let's dive in to some other series. And the one I want to talk about is Minnesota versus St. Louis Blues. This is one that's like, unless you're a die-hard hockey fan, I feel like this is an under-the-radar series just because it's the West. The Midwest, maybe I could argue,
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't get much national attention than it should have comparing the other games. It's on a little bit later, prime time, whatnot. St. Louis is still solid, just like how Jack mentioned. And that's the team I kind of wrote off. I still don't trust their goaltending, even though Binnington won a cup with them in the previous years and whatever. But a guy like Perron has been still playing great, leads the playoffs in goals. I think Kyrou is so underrated. It's just St. Louis looks good. I was so high in Minnesota Wild that I kind of wrote off the Blues, but I don't want to say I'm turning tides. I'm still going to stick with the team I went in with. But it really wouldn't shock me if St. Louis wins. It really wouldn't shock me now. Now that I see how the series plays out, I really wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be.
Well, you see, in the earlier podcast, I mentioned that Husso was playing so good and he shut them out. And, now Binnington was able to steal a win for them, so that's a good sign. Scares me a little bit is Torrey Krug's out. I think with a lower body injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but he's a big part of their team. He's he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he plays pretty big, and he's a good puck mover, and he's one of their best defensemen. But Parayko and Falk have been playing lights out. Their forwards have been playing unbelievable. Kyrou, Thomas, Buchnevich, O'Reilly's been playing great defensively. This is one of the series to watch. I feel like maybe I've said that about every fucking series now, but this is gonna be. We're gonna see tomorrow what's
Can't wait.
It's gonna be a tight series. I see this going to 7. Both teams have good players and depth, and they both have the same work ethic. It almost seems like, but I do think St. Louis is the better team on paper, and I think when it's all said and done, St. Louis wins this. I think St. Louis goaltending pulls it out. Whether Binnington goes on a little run here, or they put Husso in. I think overall St. Louis gets it done. You're going to see St. Louis beat Minnesota. That's a Jack Farris pick right there.
I'd like to agree to the full extent and to the point where I'd put money on it, but to a little backtrack a little bit to talk about home games. I think if the Minnesota Wild, they win these games at home, I think that's going to be the biggest difference maker. I mean, we talked about it all through this episode about how important home games are, and yes, sorry, I'm dropping caps and whatnot, but like I said before, I think if they win at home just because of how important home games are, I think that these players feed off the energy so much that it just gives them that extra edge. I mean, it's no secret just watching these playoffs in previous years, just growing up watching hockey. I don't know. I just firmly believe in Minnesota just overall due to that they have home advantage. I really do believe that. Listen, we'll see. There's plenty of hockey left. It's a great series. I'm a little mad at myself that I wrote off St. Louis.
Yeah.
I really did. I did because my questionable standpoint was, their goal. And I don't want to make it all about St. Louis, but, a guy like Kaprizov on Minnesota is playing great. Eriksson Ek is playing great.
I think a lot of people forget with St. Louis about Tarasenko. I mean, this guy requested a trade in the offseason.
Right.
Didn't get traded.
That's true. That's right. I forgot about that, Jack.
He fit right back in with St. Louis. He's played unbelievable, and he's kind of a lightning rod in a sense. He's kind of like Derek Kaprizov. He's older, obviously. But, yeah, I mean, St. Louis has some nice pieces. They had a solid blue line, and if Binnington can keep playing the way he's supposed to be playing, and if he's not, and if Husso could step in and play the way he played the other night when he shut out Minnesota, I think Minnesota's in trouble. This is one of the more interesting series to watch because, a lot of these series you could run through and, if you listen to the first podcast, it's kind of unanimously a lot of people picked Calgary over Dallas, and Colorado over the Preds, and even, the next series we're going to talk about, Oilers versus Kings. A lot of people picked the Oilers basically because of McDavid and Draisaitl, right? A lot of people picked Tampa over Toronto. Canes Bruins kind of split, but, I'd say a lot of people picked the Canes because of how good they did this season.
Right.
I think even with the Rangers Pitt, a lot of people picked the Rangers. Maybe people slept on Pitt a bit, but, Florida Caps, everyone picked Florida. Wild Blues, that was kind of wow, I don't know, because they're both solid, deep teams, and I think, like you said, Rick, it's a Midwest team that, the East Coast and West Coast really isn't paying so much attention to them, so you're not watching them as much, but that's what makes it so interesting, but yeah, if my money's going anywhere, it's on St. Louis.
No, that's good, Rick. That was a good statement there. That was definitely good. I like what you said there. Like I was saying earlier, it's just I don't think they get the credit they deserve. I don't think they get the coverage that they deserve. It's two good hockey clubs going at it, battling out, and that's an under the radar series is what I want to call it. If we're gonna do an under the radar topic and whatnot, that's an under the radar series. So, no, that's for sure. Very interested to see how that plays out tomorrow. We'll see. That's all we can do. We'll see. We'll watch. We'll learn. We'll take notes, and we'll talk about it on the next episode of the JNR's PuckHouse.
Totally.
I can't wait.
We got one more series to talk about though before we end it.
Plenty to talk about. Listen, we're going to talk about the LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. This is a series that's so interesting to me because. The Kings go up the first game, right? They go up 1-0. They went into overtime. Shout out to Trevor Moore. That's a guy that I want to mention right now.
Oh, yeah.
Is Trevor Moore. This is a guy that's under the radar. Speaking about under the radar, Trevor Moore. I mean, listen, when I'm playing GM mode on NHL 22, they're always fucking dropping him to waivers, and I claim him because he's so good.
Yeah. Alex Iafallo another guy.
Yeah. No, listen. LA is a sneaky good team. I think people don't realize them just because, they won those 2 cups, they're old now, they're this and that, and, they're past their prime and all this stuff, but they still got young guys that contribute and make those plays happen.
Yeah.
So, you just love to see it about the LA Kings. I still think that the Eds do win the series. It's just crazy to me how back and forth it is, and I love how chippy it is.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love how it's hockey. It's playoff hockey. They're all playing for the same goal, for the same thing at the end of the season, and they're just going the fuck at it. Even McDavid's getting into some scraps.
Yeah.
You gotta love it, man.
Oh yeah. Listen, McDavid's got heart. You know, as much skill and as a franchise player he is, he wants to win so bad, and he's gonna do everything he can to win. One thing, you know, McDavid, Draisaitl, they've been playing unbelievable. They always do. You got Nugent Hopkins, who did he get hurt last game? Am I messing that up? I think he got hurt last game. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure. The games are so late that I could barely watch unless it's on a Friday night or a weekend and whatnot.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. It gets tough to watch all the Western Coast teams.
It's
but
tough.
We kind of watch the highlights with the West Coast. We're really, you know, we're in depth with the East Coast for sure. But yeah, the West Coast gets a little difficult. But, you know, what I will say is Evander Kane, as much as he's like had his troubles off the ice and whatnot, he's played good. Absolutely. In the regular season and in the playoffs, I think. And he's a big guy and he can play physical. You know, if you take his like character out of the question and stuff like that, he's a good hockey player and he's a physical hockey player and he's probably a good, you know, good player for the playoffs. Yeah, I agree with you, Rick. I don't see Edmonton losing to LA, but I think LA's putting a hell of a fight up. I don't think enough people talk about Kopitar, maybe because he's won cups and he's a vet. But just like Jeff Carter and guys like that, he's been there, done that. He's an amazing defensive player still.
Right.
He does all the right things. I think a lot of this is going to come down to goaltending. I think Jonathan Quick's actually been pretty damn solid for still. Yep. He's a vet goaltender. He's been very good. Edmonton's goaltending is probably the only thing that does scare me a little bit. I think they're able to score easily with McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Kane. These guys, you know, they don't have a problem scoring goals. Their blue line's not bad.
No.
But that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't be completely like, you know, my socks wouldn't be friggin' blown off if LA won. It's because of the goaltending situation, and I don't completely trust Edmonton's blue line. I know they got Darnell Nurse, our boy Griffith's favorite guy in the world, but like still, you know, Evan Bouchard's another right-hand shot defenseman that moves the puck well. He's
got
very
5
well.
points, man.
Yeah, he's really good. He's gonna be good.
Good future with him, man. Honestly, really good future with Bouchard. 100%. I'm a big fan of Bouchard.
Me
big
too.
fan.
And listen, like, if you know, I wouldn't really put my money on LA because I think McDavid and Draisaitl are just that good that they could carry the mail and get through it. But, you know, I think not enough people really pay attention to LA and some of the players they have that are sneaky good, like you said, Rick. And if Kopitar steps it up, and you know, if Doughty comes back, say, you know, like he's still hurt, I believe, right?
I honestly haven't been keeping up with injuries and whatnot.
Fans, this is where you come in. The West Coast LA fans, you tell us that we're wrong. And no, Doughty's playing and you guys are dummies and you haven't really been paying attention. Because by the time the game comes on at close to 11, I'm closing my eyes to get some sleep for work. But
that's the thing.
That's one of the problems. I try to stay up for them. But yeah, I mean, I like I said, if I had to put money on anyone, it'd be Edmonton just because of McDavid, Draisaitl. But like I said, it wouldn't shock me. And I think it would actually be kind of cool if LA won.
It would. No, it would be great.
I would still think
it'd be one of the biggest upsets. And fuck, man, if I'm McDavid, I'd be fucking fuming. I'd be fuming.
Oh yeah,
fuming. You know, it's gonna be interesting if Koskinen gets a start after last time's debacle and whatnot. You know, this is a crazy series. It really is, man. You got to worry about all factors. I mean, goaltending. I really do think that the LA Kings have it locked down. I mean, compared to what's going on and whatnot, I think LA really does have the lock on goaltending as far as that goes. But it's crazy I'm sorry, I'm slurring my words now. But how much the difference is of the back and forth series. I mean, you got the Kings winning 4-3 the first game. You got the Oilers winning 6-0, blanking them out, no problem. You know, you got the Oilers winning the next game, Game 3 after that, 8-2. Like it's no problem. And then the Kings come back and win 4-0. So that's why I love this series, folks. It's just back and forth action, high scoring, no matter what. No matter what the day, no matter whether it's home or on the road. as much as I say home games matter in this, that, and this and that, but this is just one of the interesting series. It really is one of the I think it's just as interesting as the St. Louis Blues in Minnesota because it's just like two teams, one that's heavily favorited and then one who's extremely written off.
Yeah, 100%.
So listen, Risky Rick, if he was to put money on it, I would pick Edmonton, but again, it wouldn't rock my socks if LA Kings fucking turn it around and win. So, gonna be interesting how it plays out, Jack. Honestly.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a good way to wrap it up. Like, sorry if we sound a little distracted. We're trying to keep an eye on the Pittsburgh Ranger game going on right now, but I think we covered all the series. And listen, we're gonna be back pretty soon.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover everything. It's an interesting time of year, hockey fans. So, like I said, last few podcasts, you guys have any tips, tricks, comments, anything you guys, guys want?
Absolutely.
Unless you're a douchebag, I'm just gonna ignore you. But, you got any, comments for positive, we'll keep it in mind. And, like I said, if your team ain't in the playoffs and we're not talking about them, we're gonna be talking about them pretty soon. That's for sure.
Absolutely, Jack. Listen, more content to come. Like us, view us, listen to us, subscribe on YouTube. We're on Spotify now. We're working on to get on iTunes. Anywhere you could listen to a podcast, look us up. We're going to be out there. I mean, I know mostly everybody uses iTunes and Spotify unless you're a fucking weirdo and use other shit besides other than YouTube. But listen, look us up, follow us, stay tuned. If you're a hockey fan, you'll like us. We try to keep it a little funny, not to be too serious, but sometimes with a serious side with it. Listen, more content to come, like we said before. I'm just excited to do this, folks. Honestly, this is going to be great. I can't wait for next season, even though we're already in the playoffs.
Best time of the year.
It really is the best time of the year. It really is. It's like my second Christmas. It really is. I swear.
Yeah,
I swear.
We're gonna have the exciting playoffs. We're gonna have the cup, and then we're gonna have draft free agency. It's a good time to listen to our pod.
Yeah, sure. No worries, folks. We're gonna be doing this year round. It's really not gonna be any days off. Besides, us going to work, and then, we got to give some time to wrap up the show and whatnot, and let things little settle. We're not going to do an everyday thing. We're not there yet. But
we get the right ads, we'll quit our jobs.
Trust me, we will. We will. I will. But listen, folks, this is a beautiful thing.
Okay.
It's the best time of the year. I'm not kidding. But listen, the best time of the year. And, folks, listen, I love all you that listen. All you that partake in this, don't let that ever go unnoticed. And, hey, man, more to come, more content. Love hockey. Let's talk about it.
You guys share this with your friends if you can. This is a big episode covering all the playoffs. We had guests, so share this with your friends, your relatives, and whoever else that likes hockey. Because I'm sure only someone that would like hockey would sit through this entire podcast. And Jack Farris and Rick Adams signing out. Thanks for listening to the PuckHouse podcast.
Thank you, folks. Just want a quick mention before Jack signs off and we all sign off. It's 8 o'clock p.m. here, Eastern Central Time. Listen, if anybody wants to be a guest, don't be a little shy. Just reach out, comment on the video, reach us out directly, whatnot. Follow us on Instagram at JRPuckHouse. We can answer all questions if need be. And we'll go from there, really, honestly. Let's go Pittsburgh Penguins. And that's really it. That's all I have to say. Rick Adams is out. Jack Farris alongside with me. And that's about it, folks.
Thanks for listening, fellas.
Thank you for listening.
Ladies and gents, thanks for listening.
Thank you.